Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode on your favorite YouTube channel, the Nana Adom Show. My name is Nana Adom. Without much ado, let's go. There's some stories that you hear and you wish they weren't real. And today's story is one of them. In Bangor, a city in the state of Maine in the United States, a very quiet American city, a case has emerged. Now, mind you, this just happened a few days ago, so it's all alleged. It has become publicly known that a child has been severely assaulted. This harm came to this child not from a stranger, but from someone within the same household as the child. As an African, as a Ghanaian, the details are difficult to ignore. So we're just going to briefly run through the story. We're not passing judgment on anyone. Again, I must mention that everything we share here is meant to be for us to learn from and do better going forward. On March 13, 2026, according to police reports, the police received a call about a child in distress and they sent a unit out to the house on State Street in Bangor. Investigators say the child was harmed using a wooden dowel. Pretty quickly, as the investigation unfolded, one name came up, a man named Henry Osei, and quickly taken into custody and is charged with the assault on the child. Authorities currently describe the case as extremely serious. And this goes without saying that in the West, whenever a child is involved, it's automatically classified as serious. Now, here's why this story is bigger than just one case. For many Africans living abroad, this is somewhat of an uncomfortable conversation because the way children are raised back home and the way children are protected in countries like Germany, the United Kingdom, the United States are very different. Granted, back home things are improving now and things are better than they were, say, a decade or two ago. A cultural contrast exists in the sense that in one culture, striking a child can be termed as discipline. And in many African homes, discipline is strict. No two ways about that. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's verbal, but for the most part, it's almost always harsh. Beyond a certain generation, you may almost see this as normal, almost see it as that is how to raise the child. Or even the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. In the United States, the system sees things very differently. In countries such as the US, children are one of the most protected groups of people in the society. Perhaps only second to the elderly, children rank very high on the list of the vulnerable groups of people in society. So you would find that teachers, doctors, even your neighbors, everyone is encouraged to report any sign of harm. Teachers are considered mandated reporters. That means that if they see perhaps a child who comes to school with no food, a child who comes to school with the same clothes as the day before, a child who is distracted, sleeping in school, they can actually report that the child is suffering from neglect. And that can bring you a whole ton of trouble as a parent or a caregiver. So bear in mind that all these participants of the society are looking for any small sign of harm or distress or lack of propriety in the life of a child. And once a situation crosses a line, it's no longer discipline, it's purely criminal. And some of the effects can be that you may even have your child taken away from you and put into the social welfare system or put into the foster system. And you, the parent who is alleged to have committed that harm against the child, could possibly face jail time and a whole lot more. This is something that many immigrants may not understand fully until it's too late. Because what may be considered as discipline in one culture may be considered abuse in another. Consequences in these developed countries can be very severe. Arrest, charges, jail time, a permanent record, blacklisting. Whew, it goes on. If you are in certain regulated fields such as medicine, nursing, your license may even end up being revoked. And these may all happen for actions that perhaps in another environment may not have had the same response or effects. But beyond the legal system, there is another side that a child was hurt, and the child will have to live with the physical and emotional effects of what has happened. And the situation that perhaps could have been handled differently will now have permanent effects for all that were involved. Stories like this are not just about the crime, but they are about reflecting on the environment that you are in. And this applies to both veteran Africans who've been abroad for years and new ones who are just learning to find their feet in their new environments. Stories like this are about understanding the environment you live in. It requires adjusting to new laws, perhaps new systems, and new boundaries. Because in places like the United States, when it comes to children, there is very little tolerance for anything that puts them at risk, including you, the parent, or a caregiver or a guardian. And maybe this is the biggest lesson here, that this is not just about one man or about one case, but it's a reality that many people don't talk about enough. And when you move abroad, you don't just carry your culture with you. You take a step into a system that is going to hold you accountable in ways that maybe you are not used to. As this case involving Say is still in the legal system, more details will continue to emerge. We'll do our best to keep you updated. But one thing is clear, when it comes to children, the line is drawn. And once that line is crossed, unfortunately, there may be some consequences. Thank you guys for joining us for today's story. We appreciate all the support on the channel. It's actually been very encouraging, and I appreciate the support, the feedback. If you observe, a lot of things have been changing as well based on your feedback, and we're continuing to change every day. It's going to be a continuous process. So keep the feedback coming, keep the support as hot and sizzling as ever. As usual, follow us on all our social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. And as usual, share the video, comment. It really helps to push the video to other people interested in this type of content. And show your like by liking the video. And once again, the appreciation for all the support, it's massive. Thank you so much. So until I come by with the next video, stay blessed. I'm Nana Adam Adamonkwa. Goodbye. Some of the tough soldiers like us, I quite remember being beaten black and blue with Benkuta. Do you know Benkuta? I'll try and see if we can get an image of it. Benkuta is used for making banku. It's like a turning stick, skipping rope, bathroom slippers. Those are mine. Let me know what was used on you as a child, if you had that experience as well. Yeah. Sometimes I've come and gone, but we thank God the world has moved forward.